The pads of her fingers had softened from the water. Her short, wet hair lay flat against her face. "Just listen to what this NATO general has done." Gone from her face was what I thought of as her scissors look, pinched and pale, stripped of humor. She started to hand me the newspaper, then grabbed it back and read out loud, "Commander of the 12th Panzer Division of the Bundeswehr." The gist was this. At a much-publicized rifle club banquet in Marbach the night before, a NATO general had made a scene. A black tie event. You can imagine. The women must have all been in long gloves, gowns, covered in sequins. But here, listen. There's a tradition in the club of bringing a massive roasted pig into the hall, a spanferkel on a platter, with an apple in its mouth, while a military band strikes up a ceremonial march. Well, the military band chose to play the Baden-Weiler Marsch. She looked at me pointedly, and yes, I understood. This was Hitler's march, played whenever he entered a public rally. This fact was well known to us, and it underlined, without further words, how fused the present Bonn elite was to the old system, ancient Nazis recycled and turned into judges and politicians. For non-Germans, it might have been possible to listen to the Baden-Weiler Marsch with its whistles of flutes and piccolos, followed by the three distinctive horns, and not hear the darker resonance of Nazism. But not for people of my age, children of the Nazi generation. Petra shook the paper straight and continued to read. No sooner had the band struck up the tune than General Emil Gerhardt, commander, etc., pushed back his chair, crossed the room, and tapped the conductor on the shoulder. "I would prefer it," said the general, "if that particular march was not played, neither here nor on any occasion." I could picture it. The banqueting generals surrounded by their jeweled wives, the room fat with satisfaction. Two men holding aloft the pig, basted in dark beer and with an apple in its mouth, a display of head cheese, pomegranates, and roasted peaches around its haunches and cloven feet. A yelp of appreciation bursting from the grey beards in the room, and then this general requesting the conductor's attention, while he glares in surprise and keeps waving his baton, and the tuba and the bassoonist begin, with mounting discord, to lose control of the music, until at last the whole thing founders with a final bleat of the trumpets. "I say," says the general, "would it be possible for you to play another song?" Petra dropped the paper on the floor and stood, sloshing water. "Pass me a towel, Manfred. I'm going to write him a letter." She was dripping, little breasts so pretty, hip bones framing the dark patch of hair. "No, you are not. That's ridiculous." "I am." I handed her the towel, and she began to dry herself vigorously. He could be an important ally. "Unlikely." "Yes, is that so? You know the mind of this general already." "I know he can't help us, if that's what you mean." I went back to the kitchen, where the stew had cooked down too much. Bits of potato and lamb were stuck to the frying pan. I poured in some wine, but the whole thing now had a slight burnt flavor. Petra came in toweling her hair and wearing her customary loose pink sweatpants and a t-shirt, swords into plowshares. She tossed the towel onto the back of a chair, went to her room and came back with a couple of postcards, one of Rosa Luxemburg, the other an innocuous vision of the Rhine in springtime. She chose the latter, sat down and scribbled quickly, then read aloud. "Dear General Gerhardt, I heard of your act of conscientious objection to call attention to Hitler's odious march. Well done. If you have other values of this sort, come. Be part of our movement. Join the Green Party of West Germany." What do you think? I placed a bowl of stew in front of her. "It got burnt," I said. "It smells good." As I handed her a spoon, she took hold of my hand and kissed the back of it. "We need everyone," she said. I sat. "We must believe in human goodness. Isn't that our job, as people on this earth?" "I don't think so." "You're angry with me," she said. "Why would I be?" She was silent, chewing a piece of meat. "We need more allies from the center." "A NATO general? Is that the center?" She shrugged. "And what? You will write him a postcard and tame him? Gentle the general?" "Watch out," I wanted to say. "He's old enough to be your father." She had a father thing, it was well known. She and I even occasionally laughed about it, her proclivity for older men. Her father had disappeared when she was 5, without a word or note. He left her with a father-shaped gap in her chest, a place where the wind blew in, and a Pez container he'd bargained for in the American sector, shaped like Mickey Mouse.